Read yourself instead of reading books. Truth does not lie outside. That is merely memory, not wisdom. Memory without wisdom is like an empty thermos. If you don't fill it, it's useless. Truth is not outside, where words are printed, but in the silence between our own lines of thought. For all external knowledge is just memory, while wisdom comes when we live, we feel, and we turn what we know into real, lived experience. Memory may make us speak well, write skillfully, but wisdom is what makes us live rightly. A person filled with knowledge, but without inner awakening, is like an empty thermos, shiny on the outside, but useless if there's nothing inside. If we don't pour into it the warm water of understanding, experience, and compassion, then everything we learn is just echoing sounds, not true awakening. Reading books helps us open our minds, but reading ourselves helps us open our hearts. Books teach us how to see the world, while reading ourselves teaches us how to see ourselves in that world. And only when we truly understand ourselves do all the pages of life's book become meaningful. This life should perfect itself. Don't intrude into others' lives. Life doesn't demand that we become someone else, just that today's us is better than yesterday's. When we gaze into others' mirrors to judge, we only see a distorted image of ourselves. But when we turn back and look deep inside, we see so many imperfect parts, so many things needing nurturing, so many emotions needing healing. Perfecting oneself is not selfish. It's the kindest way to live in this world. For when we know how to love ourselves, we won't hurt anyone. When our hearts are bright enough, we don't need to crowd into others' light. Everyone has their own journey, their own rhythm of breath. Don't rush to interfere. Don't try to lead. For what we think is right might be what leads them astray. Live like a flower. Bloom in your own way. Spread fragrance in your own space. And smile when you see others blooming too. When we stop comparing, stop intruding into others' lives, we realize this life is already beautiful. As long as we are fully ourselves, there is no reality except the reality within us. That's why so many people live such illusory lives. They take external images as reality and don't allow the inner world to affirm itself. There are those who spend their whole lives searching for reality, but in the end, they only touch the misty veil of external images. Fame, spotlights, praise, fleeting glances. They think that's life, unaware that they are drifting away from the truth within themselves. In truth, reality doesn't lie in what we can touch, but in where we feel. A person can stand in a crowded street, yet their mind is empty, like a desert. Conversely, someone sits quietly by the window, and within their heart is a brilliant universe. The real doesn't lie in the outer picture, but in the silent heartbeat, in the feeling that we are living true to our essence. When people forget the inner reality, they start living illusions, chasing others' shadows, comparing their joy to the world's happiness. They build castles of fantasy, then suffer when they collapse. But in fact, just return inside, listen to yourself, and you'll realize everything you need is already there. You just haven't seen it yet. Living true to oneself doesn't mean separating from the world, but understanding that the world only becomes real when we feel real. When the inside is clear and bright, the outside naturally harmonizes. And when we stop chasing illusions, reality suddenly becomes strangely peaceful. Like a morning after rain, everything clear and bright, without needing to prove anything. The greatest mistake we can make in life is thinking we work for others rather than for ourselves. When we believe we're working for hire, our mindset shrinks. Every job becomes a burden, every task just an obligation. But when we understand we're working for ourselves, suddenly everything changes. Work becomes opportunity, difficulties become lessons, and time becomes investment for the future. No one truly works for others. Whether you're behind a coffee counter, in front of a computer, or driving through the night, everything you're doing is building you, your skills, your mindset, your reputation. Others are just circumstances for your growth, not the owners of your life. When we work with heart, with pride that I'm honing myself, we no longer feel resentment or exhaustion, for we know today's effort is the brick building tomorrow's freedom, and that freedom is given by no one except ourselves. We always tend to fulfill our own expectations of ourselves. People, strangely enough, always become exactly what they believe about themselves. If we think we're small, we'll live huddled in fear. If we believe we're strong, we'll gradually learn to stand tall in storms. Our mind is like an invisible mold. However we shape ourselves, life will fit into that mold. Every day, we plant thousands of thoughts in our heads. I'm not good enough. I'll fail. This is as far as I go. And so, like a reverse miracle, we shrink ourselves exactly to the size of that belief. Conversely, if we believe, I can, I deserve it, I'm moving forward, then life quietly clears the path for us. Expectation is the energy that guides the way. It is the compass in the journey of growth. When we expect good from ourselves, we force ourselves to live up to it. When we believe we have value, we act with dignity. When we believe in our abilities, we keep learning to prove that belief right. Be careful with what you believe about yourself. Every belief is a seed, and our life is just the result of those seeds sprouting. Plant high and beautiful expectations, not to become perfect, but so that each day we draw closer to the best version of ourselves. Helping yourself is the best help. All help from outside is just a passing breeze. True strength lies in your own heart and will. Helping yourself is not selfish. It's the highest expression of self-respect. When you know how to stand up after stumbling, wipe your own tears, and keep going. That's not just strength. It's a declaration. I am responsible for my life. No one understands our pain more than we do. No one knows what we need, what we want, more than ourselves. So, when we start listening to ourselves, caring for, healing, and training ourselves, we are giving ourselves the most precious gift, freedom. Help yourself by learning to be more patient, kinder to yourself, and believing that no matter how hard it gets, you can overcome it. For true strength doesn't lie in others' help, but in your own determination when you say, I won't give up. Inside us is a person who knows everything, resolves everything, does everything better than ourselves. That person is not noisy, doesn't need to prove anything, but always knows what's right. When we're confused, that person keeps us calm. When we doubt ourselves, that person whispers, just believe. And when we think we've reached our limit, that person smiles gently, unlocking a new source of energy within us, light yet steadfast. That is the deepest, purest part of us, where wisdom, love, and clarity reside. We just need to quiet down, stop the stream of thoughts, and we'll hear that person speak. But often, we're too busy chasing the world's noise, believing in external things, forgetting that the answers always lie within ourselves. Inside us is someone who understands us more, loves us more, and always wants us to live true to our real value. When we learn to trust and listen to that person, life becomes simple yet profoundly deep, because we no longer need to seek strength far away. Conquering oneself is the best and noblest victory. Being defeated by one's own nature is the worst and most shameful defeat. There are battles that don't take place on battlefields, without swords or specific enemies. Only one opponent, oneself. It is the quietest battle, yet the fiercest, for no one sees it. Only we know if we're losing or winning. Conquering oneself isn't about defeating others, but overcoming the weak, lazy, arrogant, and fearful parts within. Every time we hold back anger, overcome temptation, or dare to do what's right despite difficulty, That's a victory greater than any medal. Conversely, the most shameful defeat doesn't come from being beaten by others, but from being subdued by our own weak nature. When we know what we should do, but choose the easy way. When we know what's right, but give up. That's when we hurt our own self-respect. A wound no one can see, but it smolders forever in the soul. Conquering oneself is a journey that never ends. Every day, we have the chance to be a little stronger, a little more steadfast, a little kinder. Each time we overcome ourselves, we not only grow, but draw closer to true freedom, where our soul is no longer bound by fear or desire. You are where you are now, and the person you are now because of yourself. Everything that is you today, or will be you in the future, depends on you. Your life today is the sum of the choices, decisions, and actions you've made up to this point. You can create your own future by changing your behavior. You are where you've chosen to be, whether unconsciously or consciously. Today's life isn't the result of luck, but a mirror reflecting every thought, every decision, and every action you've sown. Every choice, no matter how small, quietly shapes who you are today, like drops of water forming an ocean. No one else is responsible for your life except you. There is no fixed fate binding you. You are the one who draws the path. You are the one who walks it. If today you're not satisfied with where you stand, remember, you can change direction anytime. For the future isn't something given, but something built from the behaviors you choose to repeat every day. Today's actions are seeds for tomorrow. If you sow perseverance, you'll reap success. If you sow effort, you'll reap freedom. And if you sow initiative, you'll reap the life you desire. Every morning you wake up is a chance to rewrite your story. No one can hold the pen for you. Loneliness doesn't worry me. Life is hard enough dealing with oneself and one's own habits. Some fear loneliness like an empty room. They rush to fill it with noise, with others, with meaningless conversations. But for me, loneliness isn't scary. What's scarier is sitting alone and still not being able to bear oneself. Loneliness doesn't kill anyone, but estrangement from oneself can lead us astray. For in those quiet moments, we start hearing what we've been avoiding. Old habits holding us back, limits we've built ourselves, wounds not yet healed. Life is already hard enough learning to understand, fix, and forgive oneself. So, loneliness is sometimes a gift to truly listen to ourselves. Not everyone dares to sit with themselves in silence, but only when we're brave enough to face it do we begin to grow. We realize the scariest part isn't external solitude, but the shadows in the soul yet to be illuminated. When we gradually accept, understand, and love ourselves, loneliness is no longer an enemy, but the most loyal friend. A person begins to draw the world. Years pass, and he draws a picture with images of lands, kingdoms, mountains, harbors, ships, islands, fish, rooms, instruments, stars, horses, and people. A short time before dying, he discovers that patient labyrinth of lines faintly resembles his own face. These are the best quotes about oneself that tapkivange.com has compiled and shared with you. With your own choices, boldly step forward and always trust in yourself to conquer success. Hope the above article will give you more motivation to keep going and overcome yourself.